All right, welcome everyone, but also no one, because this is a no-name podcast with a no-name host, but that's okay. This is like take, 4, 5 last time. I got about 6 minutes in and my microphone just quit. And so I decided to listen to the audio and it's playing back so I can hear what I'm saying as I'm recording it. But I decided to listen back to it, just make sure that everything was going okay. And it played back in this really deep, awful demon voice, and I got scared, so I deleted it. And I don't know how to work a computer, so I don't know how to fix it. So I'm starting over. And I already tested the settings that I have right now. So everything should be okay. So I have to do this over. Because, like I said, I deleted it and whatever. So, as a quick introduction, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to do this again. I just know I'm bored right now, and there's a lot of people out there that are needing to consume content. So, here you go. If even one person gets to listen to this while they're in self-isolation, even if that's me while I, shame listen, then that's good. Quality entertainment, except not so quality. Just so you're aware, this sound this sound is my Skittles. They've been sitting on my floor in a bag for about a week. Oh. If you don't like chewing sounds, I'm very sorry. So this I'm not sick, I swear. This podcast, I decided before I deleted the last one, all it's going to be is me trying to figure out astrology. And, I might not spend the whole time doing that, but, for now, until I figure out what I want to do. Let's see, where was I born? I'm not going to say. I don't know what yeah, because, okay, let me preface this. I watch a lot of Jenna Julian. And, a lot. And I listen to their podcast, and, I'm a Virgo, Jenna. And, Julian with his crazy Aries energy. If you haven't watched Jenna and Julian and you haven't listened to their podcast, to the one person, me, shame listening this later, if you haven't watched them, click away. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. Just kidding. I'm very lonely. Please stay. I'm gonna eat another Skittle. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it looks like... Alright, so I know I'm an Aquarius. Oh, that's a different language. Oh, no! Okay, I don't know what any of this means, but... My sun is an Aquarius, which, that makes sense. My moon is in Cancer. You know what? This is boring. I take it back. I don't know, man. You know what? Let's figure this out together. Let's Google. Let me get to Google. My mom has this DuckDuckGo browser installed on her laptop, and my laptop is currently broken. So it's it's meant to make sure that your information doesn't get taken and whatever. And I don't care. I'm down. Steal my identity. I have nothing to live for. Let's see. Let's Google. What's a good topic for my first podcast? I'm sorry for all the mouth noises. excuse me, the mouth and nose noises. All right, 12 best podcast ideas for beginners. Ooh, is that Robert Downey Jr.? That's a good idea. All right, when thinking about ideas for your podcast, take a minute to brainstorm what you are most passionate about. Myself. Most of the time, those will be the most successful. The hardest part is simply getting started. Okay, that sounds, fair. Discuss a favorite topic. Okay, that's difficult because I don't have someone to discuss with. Let's see. Do you have a favorite book series, TV show, or movie series? Okay. Here's an idea. Uh-oh, my crazy neighbors are awake. Okay, let me tell you a story. I've had to call the cops on them like twice. Okay, story over. Okay. Review, recap an event or entertainment series. No, that not my thing. Spotlight a subject. Focus on a specific book, movie, artist, actor, destination, etc. and discuss it in depth. This may seem like a review or recap, but the difference is that a spotlight is more of a factual discussion, while reviews and recaps are based on your personal thoughts and opinions. No, also no. Give recommendations. This is a good place to start if you have traveled often or simply enjoy trying new things and places. Okay, so just for the record, I'm reading this stuff off of clvboost.com/podcast ideas. Tell a story. Okay, here's my beef with this idea. I have no problem telling stories. I love telling stories. In fact, I used to consider starting like a storytime YouTube channel, except then I didn't want to show my face. But how, ma'am, sir, dude, bro, I'm so cringy. How am I supposed to tell a story without someone here to tell it to? So yeah, maybe I'll have my best friend on at some point and we can bounce ideas off of each other. First, I have to tell her that I'm doing this. Promote your business. I have no business. I have no will to live. Fun things. Ow, I really should have picked a better seating position to sit in, because I'm extremely uncomfortable. Let's see. All right. Pause everything. We're adjusting. Things are changing. Also, I'm disgusting. I haven't showered in way too long. Let's see. Ooh, the microphone is right in my face and I don't have my pop shield on it. Ew. Okay. All right. This is all stuff that's supposed to be done when you start, isn't it? I can't wait to Shane listen to this later and just cry in my bed about the fact that I posted this and constantly worry that someone from high school is gonna find it and know who I am, even though I have absolutely no intention of giving any let's see, any identifiers that'll, show who I am. Unless you know me really, really well, in which case, if this goes anywhere, I'll probably let people know that I'm doing it. Also, I'm struggling a lot. Ew, oh no. I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna cut that out though, because I don't know how to edit. Okay. All right, the struggle is over, I think. We'll see. All right, so interview specific groups of people. So once again, I need another person. Narrate yourself cooking. That's an idea. I mean, I'm not going to do it right now because I'm currently sitting on my living room floor with empty soda cans all over. So, I can't get my life together. I'm not going to start cooking, but definitely I could describe what you see. This can be done while you are on a vacation or simply walking through a park or the streets of your city. That'd be hard because how do people, I guess you would just get a little recorder, wouldn't you? I guess, in this day and age, you could just do it on your cell phone, but I'm not that smart. Make top 10 lists. This is an idea. I'm very judgmental. Let's see. That was a burp. Okay, well, that didn't help. I read through the whole list. I have no ideas. 50 podcast ideas you should try. Okay. All right. We're getting there. Well, we're making headway. Oh, do I have to pay to read this? I don't want to. Oh, no, I don't have to pay. Okay. All right. Let's look through it. Target specific people or places. That sounds like aggressive. AKA go super niche. Okay, here's the thing. I dropped out of college. I know what that word means, except I don't know what it means, Find films and books you haven't seen, then guess what you think will happen. I love this idea. I should have brought again, I dropped out of college. I should have brought a notepad or something, or my best friend. Something. I really like that idea. Hold on. I'm going to open a Word. See, this is all stuff. This is not first podcast material. This is the kind of stuff you do on your own. But I'm bored now. Wow, Word did not open. Oh, it's opening. It's loading. All right, let's keep going. Interview another I don't have anyone. Podcasting for certain things, morning motivation or spooky nighttime stories, etc. That's a terrible idea. So I had this sleepover quite a while back. It was back in maybe November, December, and I had 3 other friends, and we were drinking a bit, and we watched A Quiet Place, and I think that's the only scary movie we watched. And let me tell you, I was messed up. I was so scared. I was so upset. I hated it. And, there were 2 people who loved scary movies and 2 people who hated them, me being one of the people who hated them. And I was not drunk enough to watch that. I know it's not even that scary. I'm aware. But it's Still. Okay, Word finally opened. I'm going to copy and... it didn't save. Okay, hold on. I'm going to type it up. What was the idea? Rate movies and books and predict the plot without reading them. I love that idea. And I'll bet you my friend would too. Let's see. Interview taxi drivers. That is so specific. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's recap for a second. There has been narrate yourself cooking. There's been interview podcasters. There's been interview famous people, artists, authors, whatever. And then interview taxi drivers. Nothing against taxi drivers, mad respect, because that job is fucked. But that's so specific. All right, moving on. Learn a new hobby or skill. Record yourself learning how to build a wall or cook a Michelin star meal. Record yourself learning how to play football. Hold on. All right. Recap again. Record yourself learning how to play football or crochet. Again, two very different things. And no judgment. Also, sorry for all the moving noises. I'm just like a mess. So no judgment, but how do you record yourself? How do you record a podcast of learning how to play football? I understand the crochet thing because you could do it right here. You know, you have space. But football? All right. I guess you could interview a taxi driver while doing that. Record yourself in different places, describing what you can see. I think we already had this idea in the last one. Also, I changed websites. This one is podcast.co. Let's see. What's the next idea? Focus on your sponsor. Girl. Describing objects/brands for people to guess. Ooh. Describe your phone. Try and be as vague as possible. To make it difficult for people to guess. So this would be an idea for if I got a person or two watching. Or I guess listening. You're probably not gonna... Wow. This is some entertaining stuff, my dude. Describe a can of Coke. Not only do people have to guess the object, they also have to guess the brand. Okay. The Everything is Alive podcast is a podcast about inanimate objects where each person represents a different object and has to answer interview questions as though they are the object. So kind of like Headband? Or no, that game. Okay. So I watch a lot of trashy YouTube. And not that it's trashy YouTube, but like... I watch Smosh games, like Smosh Pit, and they play a lot of the games where it's like, you know, the secret spy or guess the occupation, and this seems like a game that they would play where you're an object and you have to answer questions without telling people. I mean, you know it if you've seen it. Carry your recorder round, not a round. Carry your recorder round and record everything. No, absolutely not. Let your sponsor become involved in the podcast, but retain creative control. I don't have a sponsor. Alarm clock podcasts. Find different noises for different types of people, i.e. horse noises for horse lovers, motorbike sounds for motorcyclists. Try different variations in volume. Okay. All right, that's it. That's like, so it was number 12, alarm clock podcasts, and then it gave those two ideas. How, so like, I'm confused. So is this podcast like, you play those noises and people set it as their alarm? Why wouldn't they just download those noises and make it their alarm tone? I don't know. It's fine. Preparation podcast. Preparing for a dinner party, prepping for university, prepping for a marathon. And then they gave an example of a podcast, which is the physical preparation podcast. My equipment is garbage. Stories through the eyes of different characters. Each episode is exactly the same from different points of view. A different episode for each podcast episode, but keeps switching narrator. That's interesting. Actually, that's a really good idea, but again, we would need more people. Comedy podcast. Funny story, old school jokes, children's humor, old people's humor. The Good One, a podcast about jokes, is a brilliant comedy podcast that tells old school jokes and then delves into their meaning. Okay, so this is the one I'm most interested in doing. It's just that I find it really difficult to, you know, make jokes and like have fun and whatever without someone else being here. But it's not a bad idea, and I'm really interested in doing it. Let's see. Newspaper review. Find funny headlines and guess what the story will be. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, hold on. I'm going to copy and paste that into Word. Let's see. That's kind of the same, vein of idea as the guessing books and movies. Discuss events or interesting groups. Again, keyword, discuss. I talk to myself all day. I'm talking to myself right now. I'm good at it. I just don't know if I can direct a conversation in an intellectual and interesting way without someone else, because usually my conversations are just little to myself. Anyway, traveling podcast. Make a podcast about people who have visited all 195 countries in the world. And then there's pictures. Podcasts that link, but with a twist. Make all the episodes link together, but make it so they don't seem like they link until the last episode. Has anyone ever seen Lost? If you have, you get it. Okay. Sport podcasts. Do a podcasting featuring children commentating on a professional match. That's funny. That's a good idea. But I don't have children, nor do I have friends with children. News summary. No. Government. No, absolutely not. Narrate yourself doing basic tasks. Do people want to hear that? That sounds easy. Let me copy and paste it. Oh girl, I can't even figure out how to copy and paste. Did anyone see that John Cena hatched quails? I thought that was so cute. Okay, celebrity podcasts. Interview famous people. Bitch, how? Okay, narrate from people who don't know what's going on. Oh, this is funny. Okay, get someone under... Ooh, my foot's asleep. It's actually really asleep. Okay. Next time I'm doing this at my table. I'm just sitting on my floor like I already said. So... this idea that I said was really good is narrate from people who don't know what's going on. It says get someone unfamiliar with ballet to watch a ballet and explain what's going on. Get someone who isn't a football fan to discuss the difference between the teams with no research. That's a funny idea. I actually really like that one. That is something that my best friend and I could probably do. She has no idea that I'm doing this once again, so she's going to be completely blindsided. That's okay. Top 10 lists. I already saw that one. Let's see. Find people with the same name as each other and interview them. That's not a bad idea. I just need to know more people and be willing to talk to them. Multiple generations. Let's see. I'm going to move my microphone again. Find similarities between teenagers now and teenagers of the past. Again, this is kind of an interviewing one, which is fine. What's going on in your area? I am not willing to discuss where I live. Group of people discussing things about each other. Get them to guess who in the room has climbed Everest, wrote a book, worked in a zoo, etc. Okay. Bring a person into the room who has a link to someone in the room. People have to guess who they're linked to by asking questions. Oh, okay. So has anyone seen those BuzzFeed videos where it's like a detective tries to guess who is lying, or a linguist guesses who has the fake accent? I think it'd be kind of like that. So whoever like the host is brings in a person and they try and trick the people into... How would that work, actually? This is less complicated than I'm making it sound. I'm just tired and I'm dumb. Okay, have one person lying about who they are and the others in the group need to guess who's the one that's lying. Okay, so this would have to be like a group of people that don't know each other. That would be hard. Pet podcasts. Okay, so I have 2 puppies, but they do live with my parents. I live in a different town because I was going to school and I have work, and the town that my parents live in isn't actually a town, it's just a highway. So I did what was best, and I was driving like an hour each way, so I just I did what was best for me, and now I don't live with my dog anymore. And I just got home, actually. I was there this weekend. And my dog, let me tell you. So, during all of this coronavirus toilet paper hoarding, he likes to eat toilet paper. And, we've done the research. We've talked to the vets. He's just weird. He is just so weird. And he has a lot of bizarre quirks and all that stuff. So, but he ate toilet paper, and this must have been a while ago because I haven't been home in 2 months. And I went home and I went to get in my bed, and there were balls of dried up vomit on my bed. So yeah, that was fun. And my mom yelled at me about it as if it was my fault, even though I haven't been there for 2 months, and my poor dog looked so guilty. And he still sleeps there every night. He sleeps on my bed, but anyway, poor guy. Okay. So next idea, those that can't get out, not that they're trapped, but stuck inside all day. A podcast describing what's going on outside. A podcast for blind people discussing what things look like. That's interesting. Podcast for people who work away from home, keeping them up to date on what's going on in civilian life. That's interesting as well. But that's kind of news, and I don't know. I feel like there's high stakes in anything that's like news or facts or anything like that. Because with opinions, you can just talk. You can just, if you have something wrong, then so be it. But as soon as you go into the realm of news and, discussing current events, if you have something wrong, then that, it's important. You need to have your research done. And I don't know. It seems more high stakes than I can. Okay, so next idea is short podcasts. Quickfire facts, 5-minute stories, a podcast teaching you something complex in 1 minute. Okay, so not completely the same, but I had 2 semesters ago, I had a music education class that I was taking, and we had to do that exercise that they have us do a lot in education classes, where you try and teach the class something basic, like making a paper airplane or tying your shoes, or something really, really basic that we all know how to do, but everything that you tell them to do, they manage to mess up. And I don't know, there's this little video going around, or it was a while back, of this dad who was having his kids give him instructions on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and the kids were getting so frustrated because they'd be like, all right, put the peanut butter on the bread, and he'd take the whole jar and put it on the bread, and they'd be like, no, not like that. And he was like, well, I was just doing what you told me. And it was kind of the same thing, and it was really funny. And anyway, so in this class there were a couple different projects you could do, but I had the teach people how to tie their shoe. I did really poorly. Like really bad. I don't want to talk about it. I was so embarrassed. It's okay. It's over now. It's not like like I said, I dropped out of college, so I don't have to see any of those people, but like, I still think about it a lot. Okay, next idea. Podcasts about other podcasts, Inception style. Which podcasts are good? Talk about your favorites. A podcast about how to make a podcast. A podcast about podcasts you wished existed and want to hear. Next idea is location, location, location. Podcasts that people follow to different locations like a treasure hunt. Podcasts where you interview someone about their knowledge of the area and how to travel on a budget. I wish I knew. Interview anywhere, like randomers on the street. I don't have a portable recording device, and my phone isn't great. I'm gonna take a drink of water. That's another thing, is maybe like an ASMR thing, because that's not that it's easy, but it's like, again, low stakes. I don't have to worry about saying something stupid. Let's see. Interview people who are the same. Interview people with the same birthday as you. Interview people with the same name. Interview people who have the same job. Okay, let's see. All right, next idea. Person answers questions about themselves, then make each episode about their answer. So, episode 1 would be, what's your favorite book? And then we would talk about that book. Episode 2, what do you think you were in a past life? So, like, an entire series that's a really long question and answer. That's not a bad idea, but again, I'd need another person. All right, do household chores and let people guess what you're doing. That's funny. Record yourself cleaning up, record vacuum noises, scrubbing sound, stuff like that. That's a fun idea. Let's see. Record an interview in your apartment building or on the street. Knock on your neighbors' doors and ask them to tell their most interesting stories. Okay, here's the thing. My neighbors are not the most savory of characters. I avoid them at all costs. Audience asks you questions. First, you have to get an audience. Guilty pleasure podcast. What's your guilty pleasure? What are other people's guilty pleasures? What are the most common guilty pleasures? ABBA, Mean Girls, Dungeons and Dragons. Let's see, what is my guilty pleasure? I don't know. I'm not guilty about my pleasures. Let me think. What is something I do that I don't like telling people about? Honestly, there's not much. I'm gonna adjust again. I mean, I watch a lot of Parks and Rec. I watch trashy reality TV show. I love America's Next Top Model. And it's garbage. It's absolute brain melting garbage. But I love it. I could watch like 6 seasons in one day. Not that that's, possible. But I could if it was possible. Technology. What technology do you wish existed? What technology is currently out? What are your technological predictions for the future? Cover live events? No. Zero punctuation? Ooh. Tell stories, chat with friends, and interview guests, all while not stopping for a breath. Hence, no punctuation. Switch it up. Go in reverse order and punctuate every single word. That would have to be a special occasion. All right. Interview founders and entrepreneurs. Once again, that would require me talking to people, which, is not out of the question, just not right now. Clueless content. Ooh, I like this. Clueless content. Talk about topics you have no idea in beforehand, but research before the show to speak objectively. For example, the Potterless podcast is one man's journey through the Harry Potter world without experiencing it before to get his take on it. Instead of yourself, talk with guests that don't the subject to get their take on things. Well edited. ASMR. Ooh, whisper gently to your sensory meridian response, ASMR for short, is a relaxing way to communicate with your listeners. Speak softly and cover a range of different topics, makeup, poetry, etc. Use props to help immerse your listeners into the full ASMR experience. Cover ASMR in one episode, much like Two Girls, One Podcast did. Nice name there, Two Girls, One Podcast. All right, put your podcast ideas into practice. That is the end of that one. Let's see, how many ideas was that? Yeah, that was a full 50. That was a good amount of ideas. Let's see. 19 untappable. Ooh, girl, that is not the word. 19 untapped podcast ideas. BuzzFeed. I'm not clicking on that. Let's see. Ooh, 10 beginner tips for starting your first podcast. I saw something about editing audio, so now I'm intrigued. No, I do not want virus protection. Thank you. Pop up. All right. Let's see. Plan your content. Step 1. Well done. All right. Invest in a quality microphone. All right. So, oh, cool. So what I'm using now is the Snowball. I think it's what is it? Hold on. Is that what it's called? Oh, the ice, the blue Snowball microphone. I don't know. What do you think? Is it good? Get a professionally made podcast cover image and intro. No. I can play the ukulele. Maybe I'll just like strum 3 chords and then that's my intro, and I'll make a little like do 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 do. That way when people click on this, they know what they're getting into, because I don't want nobody clicking on this and thinking this is going to be some quality content. No, I want them to know that it's going to be straight up trash. All right, number 4. Follow an outline. The dangers of recording a podcast without an outline are that you'll go off topic and find yourself rambling on about something else entirely. All right, just like a blog I just licked my microphone. Just like a blog post, a podcast should have an introduction, body, and conclusion. You don't have to write a script that you read word for word, but just a bullet point list of what you'll talk about and in what order. That's going to be a problem for me okay, so again, sort of unrelated, but so I, when I was still being a good person, a good, 20-year-old and going to college, I had to take my public speaking class, and we had to do speeches and whatever, and we were supposed to just have bullet points on our note cards of what topics we were going to cover. But because like I would get up there, I would get to the podium and I would see all those faces and I would black out. Like I would still be talking, I would still be doing my speech, but from the moment I stepped up there to the moment I sat back down in my seat, I was gone. I would never remember giving the speech. I didn't remember how I did, like nothing. I blacked out. And so what I had to do was I had to just write my entire speech, and I would print it out on papers and bring it up there, and I would just have to read it, or else I had no idea what happened. And I would still kind of black out. I still wouldn't know what was going on. But my teacher at the time, she would record our podcast. She would record our speech and, play it back for us. She would email it to us so we could see how we had done, and just make sure that, we were improving and whatever, so she could have physical proof of, the progress we made from our first speech to our last speech. Oh my God. And the last speech in that class, I had a full-on panic attack, like hyperventilating in the bathroom. I had hives everywhere. It was awful. Anyway, in case you go off track, you can always pause and refer to your outline to circle back to your topic. While talking about something else for a few minutes can add personality to your podcast, you need to know when to bring your show back to delivering the subject matter at hand. Number 5, get personal. How personal? One of the benefits of a podcast is connecting with your audience on a deeper, more personal level. Podcasts are great for telling personal stories that relate to the episode's topic. Don't be afraid to show your vulnerable side. Okay, by the way, this is shoutmeloud.com. Tips for starting podcast beginners. Get a dedicated podcasting web host. Once your podcast is live, it has the potential of being streamed by thousands of listeners. When this happens, it is important that your podcast file host can handle the bandwidth. Rather than using your website server to load your audio files, use a service like Buzzsprout, Libsyn, or Blubrry for a better and secure podcast hosting option. I don't know what that means. That's probably important. Let's see. 7, promote your blog or landing page in the podcast. I don't have a blog. I have an Instagram, though, that I will not be sharing. 8, ask your listeners to subscribe and leave a review. In iTunes, podcasts appears in the new and noteworthy section when they've gotten lots of good reviews. Before the end of each podcast episode, always tell your readers and subscribers, and leave a review if they liked the episode. 9, learn basic audio editing skills. You can hire someone to edit your audio files for you, or you can do it yourself. I'm probably not gonna edit. I'm probably just gonna upload this as is and go for it. 10, be yourself. It may seem obvious, but when you're talking to a mic for the first time, it is easy to get self-conscious and not sound like yourself. You don't have to edit out every and ah sound in the file. This makes you sound more human and less like a robot. Don't hide your accent if you have one. Who would hide their accent? Okay, unrelated. Accents to me, like, there are very specific accents that are just like the most calming things. And if I could just listen to these accents in my ears while I fall asleep, I wouldn't need, my sleeping meds. All right. So it looks like that is that entire list. Ooh, more than 200 free ideas for your next podcast. We're not going to click on that one. All right, so we've been going for 43 minutes now. I think this is probably where we're going to leave off, just because, it's the first episode. I still need to figure out I only copy and pasted 3 ideas. But so next episode, I'm probably just going to do ASMR because it's easy. But yeah, so I guess according to shoutmeloud.com, leave a review, leave a like. Can you like a podcast? Share with your friends. Or don't, because like I said, straight up trash. Hold on, let me grab my ukulele. And don't edit out your ahs and ums or the sounds of you messing around to get your ukulele out. Also, it's definitely not in tune. Let's find out. Goodbye.